Stai attento, piccolo.
One of them is still alive at 97, and another died completely alone at 56 with no money and no voice left. David here, and trust me, this one is going to hit you hard. If you love knowing the real truth behind your favorite shows, then subscribe right now, because what happened to the Happy Days cast will change how you see television forever, the sitcom that created TV legends. Happy Days first came on television in 1974, and it stayed on air for 11 full seasons. The show was about a simple American family living in the 1950s. It became something much bigger than anyone expected. It launched careers that went all the way to the Oscars, and it created spin-off shows that became massive hits on their own. One guest star appeared for just one single episode, and that one episode turned him into the biggest comedian the world has ever seen. But behind all the fun and the laughs and the thumbs up from Fonzie, the real lives of these actors were filled with pain and loss and struggles that most fans never knew about. Some of them became legends, and some of them lost everything. Today, in 2026, some of them are still alive and some died in ways that will break your heart. This is the true story of what happened to every single member of the Happy Days cast and where they are right now. Tom Bosley, the father figure America trusted. Tom Bosley played Howard Cunningham, the father of the Cunningham family, for all 11 seasons of Happy Days. He was the man who held the whole show together, and every viewer in America felt like he was their own dad sitting at the dinner table. After the show ended, he kept working and became famous again in Father Dowling Mysteries, where he played a priest who solved crimes. But on October 19th, 2010, Tom Bosley died from lung cancer at the age of 83. Ron Howard, who played his son on the show, said he was a great father and husband and a wonderful artist who led by example. After his death, the surviving cast members filed a $10 million lawsuit against CBS because they believed they were owed money from all the merchandise that used their faces and names for decades. Tom never got to see how that fight ended, but his death was the moment the Happy Days family started to fall apart for real. Erin Moran, the most heartbreaking fall of all. Erin Moran played Joanie Cunningham, the little sister that every viewer watched grow up on screen from a child into a young woman. She was America's sweetheart, but after Happy Days ended her life, became one of the saddest stories in all of television history.
She and I have finally done something that we've wanted to do for a long time, and I hope you approve.
She lost all her money, and at one point, she had no home, and was living on the streets with nothing. In 1992, she publicly accused her own father of physically and mentally abusing her when she was young. She was part of the cast lawsuit against CBS asking for $10 million, but after everything was settled, each cast member received only $65,000, which was almost nothing compared to what the show had earned. Then in her final months, she was diagnosed with stage 4 throat cancer, and the disease took away her ability to eat and even speak, and she had to survive on a feeding tube. On April the 22nd, 2017, Erin Moran was found dead in Indiana at the age of just 56, completely alone. Her own brother Tony Moran was the actor who played the unmasked Michael Myers in the original Halloween movie in 1978, which means tragedy and horror ran deep in that family. If you could say one thing to Erin Moran right now, what would it be? Write it in the comments because she deserved to hear it. Pat Morita and Al Molinaro, the men behind Arnold's. Pat Morita was the first owner of the famous drive-in diner on Happy Days, and everybody loved him as Arnold. But most people around the world know him as Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid, which earned him an Oscar nomination and made him one of the most recognized Asian actors in Hollywood history. Behind the scenes, he fought a lifelong battle with alcoholism, which was later shown in a documentary called More Than Miyagi. He also struggled to find good roles because Hollywood did not give many opportunities to Asian actors back then. Ron Howard remembered him as someone with a positive spirit and a deep sense of humanity about him. Pat Morita died on November 24, 2005 from kidney failure at the age of 73. After Pat left the show, Al Molinaro stepped in as the new diner owner Al Del Vecchio.
Let's kick off dinner at 6 tonight. Play ball!
And he became just as loved by the fans. His catchphrase, yup, 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 became something every viewer repeated at home. After the show ended, Al teamed up with Anson Williams, who played Potsie, and together they launched a real restaurant chain called Big Al's. Al Molinaro lived a long life and passed away on October 30th, 2015, at the age of 96, from complications related to gallstones, after he chose not to have surgery because of his age. The guest stars, who became even bigger than the show. Robin Williams appeared on Happy Days for just one single guest episode called My Favorite Orkin, and that one appearance changed television history forever. He was so funny and so electric on screen that the network immediately gave him his own spin-off show called Mork and Mindy, which made him a superstar overnight. From there, he went on to become one of the greatest comedians and actors the world has ever seen, starring in movies that made millions of people laugh and cry. But on August 11th, 2014, Robin Williams died by suicide at the age of 63, and the news shocked the entire planet. It was later revealed that he had been suffering from a brain disease called Lewy body dementia, which caused confusion and depression and played a major role in his death. Penny Marshall also got her big start from Happy Days when she appeared as Laverne DeFazio before getting her own spin-off, Laverne and Shirley. After acting, she became one of the most successful female directors in Hollywood history, directing beloved films like Big with Tom Hanks and A League of Their Own. Penny Marshall passed away on December 17, 2018, at the age of 75 from complications of diabetes. One single guest episode created a comedy legend, and the world has never been the same since he left. Ron Howard and Henry Winkler, from TV icons to Hollywood powerhouses. Ron Howard played Richie Cunningham, the boy next door that everyone rooted for, and after leaving the show, he did something almost nobody in television has ever done. He went from being a teenage TV actor to becoming one of the most respected directors in all of Hollywood. He won the Academy Award for Best Director for A Beautiful Mind in 2002 and directed massive films like Apollo 13, The Da Vinci Code Rush, and Solo: A Star Wars Story. Today, at 72 years old, he is still making movies and is considered one of the greatest filmmakers alive. Henry Winkler played Fonzie, the coolest character in television history, but after the show ended, he struggled for years to get serious roles because everyone only saw him as the guy in the leather jacket. What most people did not know was that Henry lived his entire life with dyslexia and never told anyone for decades. But he never gave up, and at the age of 72, he won his very first Emmy Award for the show Barry in 2018. He also became a best-selling children's book author, and today at 80 years old, he is more loved than ever. Two men who started on the same sitcom ended up conquering Hollywood in ways nobody ever predicted. Between Ron Howard and Henry Winkler, whose transformation from TV star to legend inspires you more? Drop your answer in the comments. Marion Ross and the surviving cast members still here in 2026. Marion Ross played Marion Cunningham, the mother everyone called Mrs. C, and she was the warm and loving heart of the Cunningham home for all 11 seasons. What makes her story truly special is that right now in 2026, she is still alive at the age of 97, making her one of the oldest living television icons in America. Her career in Hollywood spans more than 70 years, starting all the way back in 1953, long before Happy Days even existed. Even after the show ended, she never stopped working and lent her voice to animated shows like SpongeBob, SquarePants, Family Guy, and King of the Hill, proving that her talent had no age limit. Scott Baio, who played Chachi Arcola, is also still alive at 65, but his life took a very different direction. His acting career faded after the Happy Days era, and he became more known for his political views as an outspoken Republican supporter, and for his reality show Scott Baio is 45 and single. But the real emotional anchor of this entire story is Mrs. C still being here with us because in a cast that has lost so many beloved members, her survival at 97 feels like a gift that fans should never take for granted. In a cast that lost so many too soon, Mrs. C standing strong at 97 is the miracle this story needed. The lawsuit, the money fight, and the cast's hidden battle. Most fans of Happy Days never knew that behind the scenes, the cast fought a painful legal battle against CBS over money they believed they were owed. The show made enormous profits from merchandise like lunchboxes, t-shirts, and games that used the faces and names of the actors for decades. The cast members, including the families of those who had already passed away, came together and filed a lawsuit demanding $10 million in unpaid royalties. They argued that CBS had been making money off their images without ever paying them what was fair. But after all the legal fighting and all the years of waiting, the case was settled and each cast member received only about $65,000. For actors who had given years of their lives to a show that earned hundreds of millions of dollars, that amount felt like an insult. It proved that in Hollywood, fame does not mean financial security, and even the biggest stars can be left with almost nothing when the cameras stop rolling. The Happy Days cast gave the world a show about family and loyalty, but in real life, the system did not return that loyalty to them. They gave us the greatest family show on television, but when the cameras turned off, nobody protected them. That was the real story of the Happy Days cast. And some of these lives ended in ways nobody ever expected. If this video made you feel something, then hit that subscribe button right now, because every week we bring you the untold truth behind the stars you grew up loving, and the next one is even more shocking.